What's up guys, it's your boy Senron, and this is a guide to minions in League of Legends. This video is going to cover what minions are and what they do to ultimately prepare you with the information you need for the next few videos. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Minions are AI-controlled units that periodically spawn from each side's Nexus. They advance along all three lanes, automatically engaging and basic attacking any enemy unit or structure they encounter. Minions start spawning from each side's Nexus at minute 105 and keep spawning every 30 seconds after that for the remainder of the match. A group of spawn minions is referred to as a minion wave, or just wave for short. Each wave comprises of several types of minions. The standard minion wave includes 3 melee minions and 3 ranged minions. For the first 15 minutes of the game, 1 additional siege minion spawns in between the melee and ranged minions in every 3 waves. After the 15-minute mark, 1 spawns in every 2 waves, and finally, after the 25-minute mark, 1 spawns in every wave. If your team manages to destroy an opponent's inhibitor, 1 super minion starts spawning in each wave for your team on the same lane on which the destroyed enemy inhibitor is. Super minions replace siege minions and walk in front of melee minions. If all of the enemy's inhibitors are destroyed, 2 super minions start spawning in each wave instead. I should also probably mention that receiving the last hit on a minion grants you gold and 1 creep score. Creep score, or CS, is the number of minions, monsters and champion pets a champion has slain by dealing the killing blow. Dealing this hit is known as last hitting and is considered one of the most important income-related skills in League of Legends. Throughout the game, CS, along with KDA, can be used to estimate a player's total gold and, well, skill. Big numbers generally means a big threat, so make sure to show respect if necessary. Don't worry, I'll talk more about CSing in a future video. For now, let's talk minions. Melee minions are, as the name implies, melee ranged attack minions. Among all minions, they have the highest stat in attack speed, but the lowest in attack damage. Every other stat is quite average. Melee minions deal only half their damage against structures. In return, turret basic attacks are modified to deal 45% of this minion's maximum health as pre-mitigation damage. If a melee minion is empowered by a Baron buff, they will receive the following effects: 50% bonus movement speed when within 500 units of enemy minions or turrets, 75 bonus attack range, plus 30% size, 50 to 70 based on minutes, damage reduction from champions, 85% damage reduction from minions, and finally 15% damage reduction from AoE, persistent damage and proc damage, stacking multiplicatively with either of the above. Not much you can say about melee minions, to be honest. They're just average, but necessary to protect the caster minions. The caster minions sound like mages, look like mages, but act more like marksmen, as they also only use basic attacks. Among all minions, they have the highest unconditional attack range. In return, they have little health, attack speed, and no armor. Caster minions also only deal half their damage against structures. Turret basic attacks are modified to deal 70% of this minion's maximum health as damage. If a caster minion is empowered by a Baron buff, they will receive the following effects: 100 bonus attack range, attack missile speed increased to 900 from 650, 20 bonus attack damage, 50 to 70 based again on minutes, damage reduction from champions, and finally the same 15% damage reduction from AoE, persistent damage and proc damage as the melee minion has. Caster minions are just your average ranged Joes. A bit simple, despite their name, but simplicity is often key. The siege minion, also referred to as a cannon minion, is a durable, ranged minion that excels at chunking down turrets. They see me rolling, they hating. They are stronger and more durable than both a melee and a caster minion. What makes them so good against turrets is their passive damage resistance against turret shots, which results in only 14 to 8% per turret attack of a siege minion's maximum HP. The value here depends on which type of tower is attacking the minion instead of game time. The closer they are to the enemy Nexus, the more they enter edge mode, for they are about to come closer to their ultimate goal, the enemy Nexus. They also only have a 25% damage against turrets reduction. However, against other structures, they only deal their usual half. If a cannon minion is empowered by a Baron buff, they will receive the following effects: 750 bonus attack range, attack missile speed increased to 1600 from 1200, 50% reduced attack speed, 50 bonus attack damage. Their attack starts splashing to deal damage in a 200 unit radius, which makes them register as AoE proc spells, and they gain plus 30% unit size. No, not that unit. Or maybe that unit too. I don't really know. Siege minions are incredibly powerful in the hands of someone who knows how to use them. They help take early platings to push an advantage or even an entire tower if no one stops you from doing so. But even without a player nearby, they can establish pushes and threaten the enemy team on their own. Killing a siege minion, however, grants a massive amount of gold and experience, so try to always get it if possible. If you risk death by doing so, you can also consider basing, as the little damage they take from turrets allows you to teleport back to your fountain, heal back up, and return to your lane without losing all of your potential CS. Overall, the siege minion helps with pressuring the enemy by slowly chipping away at their base. However, if you want to close out a game in your favor, you might have to consider using super minions. Super minions are melee ranged units who not only deal but also tank an absurd amount of damage. Their massive HP pool is further complemented by 100 flat armor, so a 50% physical damage reduction. However, they are susceptible to magic damage as they own negative 30 magic resistance. As I've said earlier, super minions only spawn on lanes where enemy inhibitors are destroyed, and stop spawning when the inhibitor respawns. If all inhibitors of the enemy are destroyed, each of your waves will now include an additional super minion. Turrets only deal 7% of a super minion's max HP with an attack. In return, super minions themselves deal 50% damage against turrets and a massive 12.5% damage against other structures. That might sound terrible, but super minions also slightly empower nearby minions by granting them 35 armor and 35 magic resistance. This, however, does not apply to super minions themselves. If a super minion is empowered by a Baron buff, they will receive the following effects: 50% bonus movement speed when within 800 units of enemy minions or turrets, 25% bonus attack speed, and plus 15% unit size. Super minions act either as constant pressure or as a way to close out a game. They can clear multiple minion waves on their own, forcing players to answer the push threat before losing their entire base, especially with a Baron buff. Next to the specific minion upgrades by Hand of Baron that I've mentioned already, every minion, regardless of type, has their minimum movement speed set equal to 92.5% of the average movement speed of all nearby champions, capped at 500 movement speed. Slows also cannot reduce their speed below this value. That means that it's basically guaranteed that they will run down all lanes. But in a good way.